He really wanted the experience of attending college, but he also knew then that he wanted to go into the NBA.
You guys, we've been having a lot of conversations recently. I think this is a big year for you all with you transitioning as seniors into your first year of college. So tell us a little bit about that. How are you feeling? How are your nerves right now?
I feel good.
Awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, very excited. I've been with y'all for so long through these years, and it's finally like our point that this was all leading up to. Finally made it.
Let's take it back. We have Mrs. James here. So how about you guys tell us some of your favorite moments from you being in the program?
Honestly, getting the bikes. That was the bikes and the little computers. That was the best thing because it was really the first thing we really did, I think. So it was just real fun. Got to see a whole bunch of people I knew. It was really exciting.
My favorite thing is the Kent State camp. That's by far my favorite. That's how I met Alex, and I met a lot of my lifelong friends now who I'll be friends with for a long time. It was fun, even though we had to wake up a little early. It was just a little early, just 7. But it was still fun.
Prepping you. They were just prepping you.
They had us out the bed bright and early. Woo.
Yeah.
What are the conversations around your family's dinner table recently about college? And I guess that's for everyone. I know when I was growing up, my mom and my dad, they just set the expectation for me. They're you're going to college, that's your path. There really wasn't a question about it. So that's just how I was brought up. Were you guys, was that a conversation around your dinner tables at home about college and that opportunity that it provides you? Or was that something that you guys kind of internalized and was I want to provide this to families and give them that opportunity? Or was it something that you guys kind of always had as a discussion around the table?
I can say in our home, we didn't discuss college until LeBron was in high school, probably his freshman year. And even then, he was undecided. He really wanted the experience of attending college, but he also knew then that he wanted to go into the NBA. So for 3-4 years, it was just kind of up in the air until that final decision came down to, I think I'm going to enter into the draft and so much for college. But he did also say that he would like to one day go back and attend college and receive a degree, because we know how important that is. He was excited to go to a team that was out of state, play out of state, because he had always been in Ohio when he being drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he looked forward to that. Me, on the other hand, I wasn't so excited. I warmed up to the idea, like I had any other choice, but I warmed up to the idea once I seen how much it meant to him. If I could have kept him home a couple more years, of course I would have, but by that time he was a young man and he was able to make his decisions himself. And he, it actually did seem like he maybe had went off to college, because we weren't able to see each other every day like normal, and a lot of talking on the phone, and he was meeting new friends, and he was experiencing new experiences. You could kind of say that it was similar to a college experience for him.
I think you brought up a good point on that parent perspective of your baby going away for the first time, and those nerves that you get when you're thinking about are they going to be around the right group of people? Are there going to be people there that care for them I want to? Are they going to look after him, have his back? And I think that
all those thoughts ran through my head.
Yeah, I think
all
at
one time or another. They did.
Yeah.
This was something especially new to me. I was confident, though, that he would be able to handle himself very well. he always had. He was mature enough to, make that leap. And just leave it in God's hands. So far, so good. 17 years later.
She knows I want to go to college. Like, she knows that. So she just reassures me that I have to, like, do my work and stuff like that to make sure I'm on my grind so I can get the scholarship and stuff like that. But yeah, she just reassures me to let me know that I'm good enough, I'm strong enough to do that and go as far as I.
She sounds very supportive.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
My mom always told me I could like do whatever I want. She gonna support me. So when I told her I was going to college, she was excited, and then the scholarship was presented. So it's like my way out. It's a little easier. It's better to know I got something to fall back on rather than having to do a lot of sports and everything. I have this scholarship that I could rely on when I need to. Like right now, I plan on using that scholarship to go to Kent State. And like I told my mom I was going, she was excited. She said, yeah, I get to have some extra space in the house. But I know she's still gonna call me every day.
You may call her a few times a week
Just
yourself.
a few.
I think, like you guys were talking about, that you feel safe, like, the foundation is having you guys get that opportunity, but we're not leaving you hanging. And I think that, you mentioned that you were really important, like it was important for you that he had the right people around him. And I think that we're like the foundation acts as the right people around our students. And so even though we're giving you that scholarship, we're still going to support you guys through that college journey. There's people on campus who will be introduced to them, and they'll know that, okay, if I have a question, I can call Tyga, or I could call this person on campus and ask them, hey, like, how do I reapply for the FAFSA this year? Or what about, I don't want to stay on campus this year, I want to do something different. So you guys will have that support there for you on campus. And I think that you guys know that and your parents know that, and that makes that transition just a little bit easier for them, knowing that, we got your back. Your parents can call us, you can call us and ask those types of questions. I think, how was it for you, you guys staying connected? You said it was difficult because you didn't get to see each other all the time. So how did that work with you guys?
It actually worked out better than I expected because of our closeness, and we've always been really close, just our mother-son relationship. He was really conscientious to stay in touch with me and call me regularly. I was even more so conscientious to call him and as much as I could, as often as I could. And so his move to Miami, as far as us staying in touch, it really didn't change that much, with the exception of us really seeing each other on a daily basis. And that was tough because we were both used to that. But it definitely didn't interfere with our communication. And so we always stayed in touch. It was a lot better than what I was expecting, because initially I was kind of nervous.
Yeah.
I'm like, he gonna get away and he gonna forget about mama. He's a grown man now.
Right.
So, but nothing changed. Nothing changed. I think I got to be a lot more comfortable shortly after. And one of the reasons is because he was able to experience something that he dreamed of doing. And me, as a supportive mother, that's all I wanted for him, is to live out your dream, which I'm sure that's how your parents feel about you too. Whether it be attending college, which is a privilege and an honor, or whether you just jumped into your career or moved out of town for whatever reason to pursue your lifelong dream.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it worked.
Good.
It's still working.
Right. And it's a learning lesson.
It's a learning lesson for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that I'm kicking it back to you guys from that student perspective, what are you going to do to make sure that you're keeping in communication with your parents and letting them know, what's going on? You don't have to anymore, you're outside of their home. And as you just heard, like, it's very important for you guys to keep that relationship with your parents. So I guess I want to hear from you guys, like, what are your plans to kind of simulate this dinner table, from that far when you guys go off to college?
Well, for me, like, my brother, he had went to college for a short amount of time, and then he had went to the Air Force. He's in the Air Force now. So she always called him, and he always called her. So I just know, like, when she always called him, I just know, like, if I go far away, she's gonna always call me. So we're always gonna be in touch, because she calls him nonstop, just to see if he's, how he's doing, stuff like that. So I just know for sure, like, I can call her anytime. She can call me at any time, at any point in time, to just talk or whatever, because, like, I don't know.
And you plan on doing that, right?
Yeah, okay, of course. Yeah.
With my mom, she be cooking, so I'm gonna be at home, and I'm not gonna be that far, so it's gonna be like down the street. And then I usually, like, if I'm doing something fun, I'll send her a picture of me, and then she's like, "Oh, that is just so cute."
That's cool.
And then I call her, like, she'll call me. She claims she don't miss me, but she be blowing up my phone. Like, I know she'll keep in touch with me. Definitely, I'm definitely gonna get like just like 7 calls a week from her.
Yeah.
Or more.
Or more.
Or more.
For sure. I feel like I still go through that now with my mom. And, we call each other almost every day. And, like, we're FaceTiming. We're just talking on the phone. I'm like, so what'd you do today? She's like, nothing. What'd you do? I'm like, nothing. She's like, oh, okay. And, like, we just talk for an hour. Checking in. And then an hour goes past. And now we're, like, in deep conversation. We're all getting emotional. And, like, it is fun. But, keeping her a part of that experience, I felt like was so important for me. Like, and then my dad, he's in Florida. So I really just want to keep them a part of my experience. And so I still send them pictures of what I'm doing, where I'm going. I'm like, oh, look at this. Like, this is fun that we're doing. And just trying to keep them a part of that experience. I think, it's a family experience. Like, you guys going off to college isn't just like, your own experience. It's for you and it's very important. But it's a family adventure together. You guys are all adventuring together and figuring it out and what works for each other. So I think that's important to know, that you guys are still thinking of how you're going to keep in contact with your parents and, make them a part of that experience and that journey. Is super
They
special.
want to be a part. They want to be a part of that experience.
Something that's really important for LeBron that we continue to see is, like, he gives back to his community. That's at the forefront of his mind, and everything that he does, he never, like, forgets to continue to give back and pour into the community that pours so much into him. And I think that we've learned that from him in the foundation, and so we're trying to instill that in our students. So part of both of their scholarship opportunities is that they have to do 120 hours of community service. And so I guess I want you guys kind of all talk about, I guess starting with you, like, how did community service become such a big role in his life, and where did that all begin?
I want to say during our home displacement years back when he was a child, we were fortunate to have a lot of family and friends who took us in. And they didn't have to, but they did, and they welcomed us. And I think it kind of stemmed from that, like, you have to return your blessings,
Right.
which I was raised like that. You you have to share your blessings. You have to give back, and I think that may have been where it kind of stemmed from at a young age with LeBron, because he had help. We had help.
Right.
Someone reached out in our time of need.
Yeah.
And so we just always figured, you have to pay that forward.
Yeah.
So in his case, he's always stated that no matter how much he has, whether it be a little or a lot, his lifelong goal is to always pay it forward, to give back to those less fortunate, to those who are in need.
Right.
And he's done that, and he'll continue to do that.
Absolutely.
He sees a lot of our students and our I Promise. Well, we both see a lot of the I Promise families and the students and our ambassadors and in ourselves at one time or another. So it's real easy for us to. It just kind of comes naturally for us to give back and help in the manner that we can.
Yeah, I think that for me, I guess, I grew up like in Cleveland, and then I went to college at UA, and I didn't really, know much about the foundation, what you guys were doing, until I got kind of like thrust in here on like a once in a lifetime
We're so
opportunity.
glad you did.
Thank you. And I just like remember seeing you guys like out in it with us. Like you guys weren't like standing back, like you were deep in the community service, and you challenged us and you continue to push us. And seeing you at our I Promise 2 celebration graduations and working at the I Promise Village, like this is still like very near and dear to your heart. No matter how big our program continues to get, like you guys are like on the ground with us and like really, in it with our families, and you're walking side by side with them. So it's always like funny to see such a large organization, but how deeply rooted and connected everything is.
It's also a way to stay humble, and that's really important for myself and for LeBron. So if you're never too big. You should never be too big to get involved, to walk side by side with those less fortunate, or just look at yourself on that same level. You gotta look at yourself on that same level. So, and not to mention is most of these ideas are LeBron's ideas, so he gotta put his foot in it. He gotta walk that walk. He ain't just talk that talk.
Right.
So it makes it real easy for us to stand hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because it's just near and dear.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sincere. It's not PR.
Right.
It's personal.
Right. Yeah, you guys do a great example of that, and I think that our students, they see that, and then when we challenge them, it's easier for them to give back. And I just kind of want to like brag on you guys for a second, and all the community service that you guys have done in your community has allowed you to earn that scholarship opportunity. I think that you're both 3-3 ambassadors in our program, so not only are you doing community service, but you're taking it to the next level. You're becoming leaders in your communities, and you're kind of paving a way for those I Promise Network students underneath you to know that this is for real, like you should be invested, and you're kind of leading that path. How does it feel like being a part of this organization and having that expectation of community service put upon you? Is it easy? Were you guys nervous at first when you heard those requirements? Kind of talk to us about that a little bit.
It's fun. I like volunteering. It's something I always did. Like when he would be like, clean up the stadium, I would go. I'll have fun with that. I love to just do stuff like that. It's like rewarding. It's not just rewarding to me. It's rewarding to see like the people after we did it for them. They have smiles on their face. Like mentoring the kids, they had a big smile when we would show up. So it made like giving up like 2 hours of my day easy.
Yeah, like she said, cleaning up the stadiums like years ago. I don't know how long ago that was, but like cleaning up the stadiums, like that was always, and you always got to see your friends and stuff. It was always fun. Like even though you cleaning is fun. Like it was always fun to see your friends, people laughing, talking, giggling, stuff like that. And then like to the kids, how the kids look up to you. Like when they see you, they're always happy and just so excited. You can't do anything but be happy to be in that position, to have kids looking up to you and looking up to you as a role model. Like,
it's awesome. I hope that you guys will keep in mind to come home as often as you can, because your families are going to miss you, your parents are going to miss you. So you guys can enjoy some family meals and once you start living your own lives, we're not in a hurry to say that, by the way, but y'all have lives, so we have to accept it. It's real easy to get caught up in just your life. And so I'm hoping that you guys, continue to say, oh man, I ain't called my mom. I need to call my mom. Or, I need to make a ride down the highway and see my family. And we can have Sunday dinner together. Or do a movie night. Because as parents, I can speak personally, as me as a parent, how easy it is to become distant just due to you physically being distant with your lives and your new friends and school and studies but I know as a parent, your moms and dads are gonna miss you, and they still want to be as involved as possible, even with you being physically away. So keep that in mind. I think y'all gonna do real well at school, and yeah, they're gonna be pretty successful. I can already tell. I can tell. Y'all I see it. I see it in your future. I'm looking at I got one of them balls, crystal balls. I can see. Yeah, y'all gonna be real successful.
Y'all going to college.
And we gonna be here for you when you need, if you need. Don't hesitate.
I know Ty got me text her already.
Okay. Yeah, don't hesitate to let us know if you need something. Anything. Nothing is too small. Okay. We got you. Family. We family.
Right.
Just always remember that.
Right.
Okay. Cool. This was fun.
Yeah,
This was fun.
Great
This was
experience.